Welcome back in, everybody, to our final edition of the Washburn Football Preview Series here, as we are just one day away from Washburn Football starting the 2022 season. That is right. Tomorrow, kickoff, 6 o'clock at Yager Stadium, 5:30 pregame coverage on Country 106.9 or mycountry1069.com. If you can make it out to Yager Stadium as well, should be a lot of fun as tomorrow we start the 2022 season. Hopefully you've enjoyed this preview series, and if you've missed any of them, you can go check out all of 10 headlines. As we started 10 days ago, we are now down to our number one headline. We've hit on a lot of questions and a lot of strengths for this Washburn football team leading into tomorrow night's kickoff for the Washburn Ichabod football team. So we appreciate you listening. Subscribe as well. And we're getting a lot of reaction videos and recap videos as well. Don't forget, the Washburn Coaches Show was last night. If you missed that, it's on our website as well. So very simple, very easy to get to here. But the number one headline going into the 2022 season, not a surprise, the starting quarterback. The most important position in all of football and all of sports, really, is the quarterback. If you don't have a good quarterback, you will not win at any level, but more importantly, you won't win in the MIAA. You have to have a quarterback who can make the throws, win the tight game, be a leader, and do everything in this conference. That has to happen. You look at the past success of Washburn, the years that they've went to the playoffs. They've had really good and top-tier quarterbacks in the MIAA, but also in school history. Jordan Brill starting out in 05-07, Dane Simino in 2011. Last year, Mitch Schurig. Mitch finished his career last year near the top of a lot of categories. Second in touchdowns in his career, only behind Simino. Second in completions behind Simino. Third in passing yards. Number one in completion percentages. All those quarterbacks, Brill, Simino, and Schurig, all led Washburn to the playoffs. All of them near the top of the record-setting number. So that is why you need a good quarterback in the MIAA. This year's starting quarterback, it is going to be no surprise, sophomore quarterback Kellen Simoncic out of Smithville, Missouri. And he's been in the program now his third year coming up. Redshirted his first year. Saw action last year as a redshirt freshman, most notably the games against Northwest Missouri State and Central Oklahoma. Now, not very often does a redshirt freshman quarterback lead the team on a 90-yard drive in the fourth quarter against the number 2 team in the country. Normally that does not happen. But that was a defining moment not only for Simoncic and the football team last year, but in Washburn history. Then the next week, Simoncic comes in, helps fill in the role, and they beat Central Oklahoma on the road in Edmond. Very tough place to play, as many teams know that. So it's not like he doesn't have any action. It's not like he is going to be completely green. That is such a huge deal that he got those 2 games last year and saw success, and you saw that the moment wasn't too big. Now, Simoncic has got some very good mobility. You saw him scramble against Northwest Missouri State, got a very good arm. He also can make the throws, and the moment isn't too big. Threw for 6 touchdowns, 500 yards, and a handful of games last year. The biggest question for Simoncic is going to be, how does he handle being the guy? There's a difference between being a backup and thrust into a role and then knowing you are the guy. You are the starting quarterback. It ends right there. The buck stops with the starting quarterback. That will be the biggest question mark, but it's not just X's and O's, the leadership aspect of it. You want your quarterback to be your team leader. You want them to gravitate towards that quarterback. And that kind of really, gathering when I talked with Kellen Simoncic at Washburn Media Day, that's one thing he's really developed, and he's really embraced this. And you can tell he's learned a lot being in this third year. So that is a huge, huge boost as well for Kellen Simoncic, the starting quarterback. What about the backup quarterback? That looks to be the youngster, a transfer from Northern State, and Jared Taylor, son of KSU athletic director Gene Taylor. He comes in with D2 experience and should be a very good backup quarterback for the Washburn Ichabods. So that is your number one headline, the starting quarterback. This is an Ichabod team that's got a lot of players back. We noted that on the offensive line, wide receiver, running back, tight end. defensive side, a lot of back on the defensive line. A couple safeties are back, a corner, one linebacker. They got some youngsters who are going to have to step up and fill those roles at corner and linebacker, as we mentioned in the last couple of days. But this is an Ichabod football team that's got the experience, and they've got a new quarterback who does have experience. That is the one thing. Normally, younger quarterbacks don't do well in this league. You got to be a veteran quarterback. But having those games last year is such a big deal for Kellen Simoncic. The coaching staff's excited. I know a lot of the players are excited. J.J. Letcher, speaking to him earlier this in fall camp, it's playoffs or bust. It is going to be a huge, huge season for the Washburn Ichabods, and it might come down to those one-score games. Should be a lot of fun. Cannot wait for tomorrow night, 6 o'clock kickoff from Yager Stadium. We'll see if Lincoln will kick it to J.J. Letcher, and we'll be off and running for the Washburn Ichabods. Hopefully you enjoyed this preview series. If you missed anything, click on all 10 of the headlines going into this season. Next time we'll talk to you, a recap after the game coming up against Lincoln. Until then, let's get excited and get pumped and head out to Yager Stadium for tomorrow's game.